Hi, we're here with Dr. David McKalip, and he is a neurosurgeon here, or neurosurgeon, neurological surgeon here in Cartersville. But today we're talking about something else that he feels is very important, and that is property tax relief. He has explained a little bit about Yes for Tax Cuts, and maybe if you started it or how you got involved with it.
Well, thank you so much. I'm Dr. David McKalip. I'm the chairman of Yes for Tax Cuts Incorporated. We're a ballot committee here in Bartow County and for Cartersville. And what we're doing is trying to get people to vote yes for tax relief. This fall will be a time when you can vote yes so that your taxes will not go higher than the rate of inflation forever. Now, this was on the ballot last year, and all the other local governments voted to opt in to that, but two did not. The school boards. Cartersville and Bartow school boards decided they want to take as much tax money from you as they possibly can for the rest of your lives in the home. And so they opted out, which means they're raising taxes still, and it's not limited by inflation like all the other local governments are.
And you mentioned that this was on the ballot last year. I remember covering that. And when it passed, everybody thought, great, we're going to get tax relief. And of course, then they found out about there was an opt-in, opt-out thing going on. So when you found out about that, did that surprise you that the local governments had that opportunity?
Not really, because that's the nature of what happens at the legislature. They did a lot of horse trading so they could even get it on the ballot. It stopped in the House, which traditionally has been less friendly to the taxpayer and more friendly to big government. And so they allowed this opt-in, opt-out, thinking the local governments would have to face the voters if they chose to opt out. And that's exactly what's going to happen this fall. We're going to go back to the polls this time because our local delegation, our two senators and our two representatives, got it back on the ballot for us this fall.
Now, I know, and I've covered elections for many years, that sometimes the off-season election that's not presidential or not statewide doesn't get the attention of the voter turnout that you would hope for. Now, that's one thing your group is focusing on, right? Trying to drum up turnout.
That's right. Voter turnout is critical, and a lot of you voted last time because it was a presidential year. There were a lot of things on the ballot to vote on. It was a big turnout, but this year we need a big turnout as well. If voters decide not to go to the polls this year, if they just say it's not that important, then they can just count on their property taxes going up for as long as they own their houses. No matter how high the government wants it to go, it'll just go up. So they need to get out and vote.
Now, explain a little bit about the fact that it can only go up the rate of inflation, a little bit about what that means to the average voter.
Sure. And this is just for your home. So if you own a home and you've been in there for a while, and say you bought it and it cost you $250,000 when you bought it, and they keep putting its value up on paper. Oh, this year we think it is worth taxing at $300 and $350 and at $400 several years later. That's well above the rate of inflation. In fact, they've gone up 10 to 20% a year for how much money they're taking from the taxpayer, or more. And so what this will say is no matter how high it goes up on paper for your home, it'll never go higher than the rate of inflation. Everything above the rate of inflation will be exempt from taxation. It's another type of homestead exemption.
And this would apply to everyone.
Everyone who owns a home, their home would have that exemption, so their taxes would not go higher than the rate of inflation.
Now, of course, this would help a lot of people, but I'm thinking about the seniors because they've lived in their house 30, 40 years.
Sure.
They might have bought it for $20,000. Now it's worth $200,000.
Yeah.
And that would definitely impact them, yes?
It would help them a great deal. And I know a lot of the seniors still want a full exemption for their taxes. And that's something that can and should be worked on in the future. But right now, what they have before them is the option to vote yes for tax relief and stop their taxes from going higher than the rate of inflation.
And let's talk a little bit about your group. Have you had a lot of participation, people interested in this subject? I know a lot of people are interested in wanting to stop taxes.
Yes, indeed. We were just out at the farmers market in Cartersville this last weekend. We passed out over 250 flyers, and the response was overwhelmingly positive to getting out and voting yes for property tax relief this fall, October 14th through November 5th. Overwhelmingly positive. People are sick and tired of these local governments raising taxes. And thankfully, all the local governments except the school boards opted in. The school boards are very hungry for your tax money, and their budgets go up and up and up, and they just keep raising taxes. So this time you can stop the school boards from overtaxing you.
Okay. And one more question. Who can join your group? Can anyone join,
Sure.
Paul?
They can go onto our website at yesfortaxcuts.com. That's yesfortaxcuts.com, FOR. And they can sign up to volunteer, to receive a newsletter. We'll have some people walking doors. We'll be handing out flyers. We'll be making sure that the word gets out. We may be doing a postcard signing, doing all sorts of grassroots activity to get the vote out, to vote yes this fall for property tax relief.
And I lied. I said there's one more question. I got one more. Of course, people got property tax assessments not so long ago, and they're kind of livid about it. I know quite a few people have appealed it and so forth. Do you think that will create or has created more awareness about property taxes in general, residential property taxes?
Absolutely, because people realize that even though some government bureaucrat can put a number on a piece of paper, that doesn't mean they have more money in their pocket. They can't just miraculously make extra money turn up out of nowhere like the government can seem to do by raising your taxes.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Dr. McKalip.
My pleasure.